Hi, I'm Haley. I'm an adoption counselor at the Oakville and Milton Humane Society. I'm going to be showing you how to trim your cat's nails at home. Today I'm joined with my cat Gwen, and with her assistance I'm going to show you a couple of different methods that you can do either by yourself or if you need to ask a second person to give you a hand, how to do so as well. Before you get started, there are a couple of supplies that you're going to want to have nearby. Most importantly, you're going to want to have a pair of nail scissors. I like the scissor style. That's my personal preference. There are a couple of different styles that you might find more comfortable. There is a guillotine style as well. The one tip I would suggest is to avoid using the nail clippers that you and I may use at home. The reason why you'd want to use nail clippers that are specific for cats is because they have a rounded blade, and that gives you a little bit more control and prevents your cat's nails from potentially shattering from being clipped at a different angle. You'll also want to have some food or treats available to give your cat either while you're doing the nail trim or as a reward after each time you trim a nail, each paw, however far you can get before you feel that you need to offer them a treat to keep it positive. You'll also want to have a towel or blanket on hand for a couple of different uses. You can either use it to keep your surface soft and to prevent your cat from slipping while you're trimming their nails. You might also want to use it on your lap if you choose to have your cat with you that way. Or lastly, you might want to use it for the burrito method, which I'll show you just a little bit later. The two other items you might want to have on hand are Feel Away. This particular type is a spray. Feel Away is a synthetic pheromone that helps your cat to recognize something as safe. So it mimics the pheromone that they have on their cheeks, that they rub on things like your legs, your furniture, to allow them to feel like something is comfortable and familiar. The last thing you're going to want to have on hand is styptic powder. Styptic powder is something that you can purchase from any pet store or veterinary clinic. And the idea of this powder is that if you cut your cat's nails just a little bit too short, if you get that quick, which is the pink spot on your cat's nail that supplies the blood, it will allow you, or you'll be able to apply it to your cat's nail to prevent any bleeding. Before you begin trimming your cat's nails, get them comfortable with having their paws touched and having the clippers nearby. Some cats are very startled by something that is unfamiliar or something that makes a strange sound. So sometimes cats are fearful of the sound of the clippers touching their nails or just having it near their body at all. I like to introduce my cat to the nail trimmers first, let them investigate and sniff a bit before I begin. Luckily with Gwen, I've been able to touch her paws throughout the time I've had her, so she is very comfortable with having her paws massaged and having me gently push them to check on her nails a couple of times per week. Your cat might not be there yet, so before you do a nail trim, even if it's a few days before you feel you need to, start doing that regularly and rewarding every time you do so. Once your cat is calm, you can begin trimming their nails. It's important to pick the right time to do the nail trim. You're going to want to pick a time when your cat is calm, maybe when they're sleepy, or if they're particularly affectionate with you, this might be a good time as well. Now that Gwen is calm and she's sitting down for me, I'm going to begin with her on a table surface like so. You might be able to do this on your bed, your couch, on a table your cat's allowed to be on at home. The soft surface helps your cat from slipping around too much. I'm just going to reach over Gwen to gently touch her paw and roll her nails out like so. I'm taking a look to see which ones I need to trim. Sometimes not all of them need a trim if you're keeping up with it regularly. I'm looking for that quick, so the pink blood supply there, to see how far I can trim. Gwen has clear nails, so it's very easy to see the quick. But your cat might have darker nails or even black nails, which can make it a lot more difficult. If this is the case, I would recommend always having a second person with you to increase your visibility of the quick, or making sure you're in a well-lit area, potentially using a flashlight to shine underneath to illuminate it a bit more, make sure that you're not trimming too far. We're ready to begin. I'm just going to start by going underneath the nail with my nail scissors and trimming off just the smallest amount that I can, getting as close to the quick as I'm comfortable with. You don't want to go any closer than about 2 millimeters. That's your guideline. You may need to turn your cat around to get the other side. So again, we're just trimming from the bottom. I mentioned trimming from the bottom because that is how you're going to get the nicest edge. If you trim sideways or from the top, you risk, again, shattering the nail or having an uneven edge that can result in your cat being a little bit uncomfortable. To move on to the back paws, you're going to do kind of the same thing, but I just put my arm a little bit over her head so she can tuck into my elbow if needed, and it gives me a bit of support to cover her body. So she can't squirm around too much or try and slip out from under me. And now that she's been so great for her nail trims, I'm going to offer her some treats. If your cat isn't staying still with you on a surface like so, you might even find it easier to sit with your cat in your lap. I'm not going to interrupt her from eating her reward right now. But you can pick your cat up, secure them on your lap, and reach around their paws in a similar fashion to make sure that you're able to get all of them. Some cats aren't going to want to stay on your lap with you. I know Gwen wouldn't. So another method that you can try is the burrito method. Now, it's called the burrito method for a pretty obvious reason. It's because you're going to wrap your cat up like a burrito. So using your towel, your blanket, whatever you have available, position your cat so that their head is going to be sticking out of the blanket or towel. We don't want to be covering her head. So we're just going to wrap her just one side at a time. This keeps her nice and cozy. And if your cat is getting a little bit squirmy, it also gives you a little bit more control as well. Now, with your cat wrapped up to the best of your ability, you're going to just reach in and take out one paw at a time and do the same thing. Take a look, check for your quick, and just trim what needs to be trimmed. When you're done with that paw, you can tuck it back in, offer them a treat if they'll take it, turn them around, do the other paw if needed. And then to get the back paws, you're just going to reach underneath, keeping them covered, and do the same thing. When you're all done, offer your cat lots of different treats, rewards, pets, praise, or if they need it, just give them a break. Now, Gwen is a pretty good demonstrator for all ways to do your cat's nails on your own, but a lot of cats are going to be quite a bit busier than Gwen is. And if that's the case, you might want to ask a second person to hold your cat so you can have both arms free, you get a really good look at the nails, and you're going to be able to get the nail trim done typically much faster and in a safer way. In this case, I'm going to ask my manager, Steph, to come and hold Gwen for me. Thank you. Whoever's holding your cat should just make sure that they're supporting their bottom and making sure that their paws are pointed out towards you so you can get each paw for the nail trim. So again, we're just trimming from the bottom, being really careful not to get that quick. And doing the back paws as well. You and whoever is helping you might need to reposition your cat a few times to allow you to get all of their paws. And once you're done, you can give your cat lots of love and lots of treats. Thank you. If you do clip the quick, which is something I've talked about a couple of times throughout this video, there's no need to panic. Your cat probably isn't going to be super happy with you. It is a very sensitive area and it causes a little bit of pain, very similar to cutting your own nail too short. This is where you'll have your styptic powder handy. This will stop the blood or the bleeding rather quickly, so you'll just apply a little bit to the affected nail. Just pinch the nail a little bit to stop the blood flow, and I would discontinue your nail trim at that point. You want to make sure that your cat isn't dreading having their nails trimmed every time you need to do it. So if you do hit the quick, again, make sure that you're keeping it positive for them with lots of treats and praise and things like that. If ultimately you cannot safely or comfortably do a nail trim with your cat, call your veterinarian, ask them if they're able to see your cat for a nail trim, or even contact a professional groomer. Ultimately, your safety, your cat's comfort, and your bond with your cat is the most important. You do need to get that nail trim done, so if it has to be done through a professional, that is totally okay. Thank you so much for watching our nail trim tutorial. Gwen and I thank you very much for your time. Hopefully you learned something from this video. For more information, please visit omhs.ca. Thank you.